And if you're a diehard Met fan, we did our job for you, as we typically do, other than that one series in Philadelphia. But you guys couldn't help yourselves. Like infants wearing diapers, no one told the New York Mets that they had to actually win games to get themselves back into relevancy. Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today,
Embarrassing.
Kid? Do I? I'm with you on that.
Embarrassing, especially after you and many listeners tried to convince me and successfully convinced me to be positive, to believe, to even find these crazy parallels to 1973. And from Brandon Belt's home run off of the apple on last night was embarrassing. I am embarrassed.
4 hits, right? Wasn't it 4 hits?
5
hits. To the ninth inning, right?
5 hits, no runs. Javi Baez has become a joke on Twitter because of the one video of him swinging about a minute and a half before Sammy Long's curveball came in. But forget that. They embarrassed themselves.
Yeah.
Everything you just said is right. You want to mock the Mets, Craig? Mock the Mets.
Well, you know what I think the worst part of all of it is, Evan? It was over almost before it started.
Right out of the gate.
You didn't have a chance to, settle into your recliner, pop open a beer, say hi to the wife and kids, or husband and kids, as the case may be, and get yourself into, okay, let's see what this Met team is going to do. We got 37, 38 games to go.
Right.
The Yankees are hopefully going to take out the Braves for us, give us a chance to get within 5.5. As we said, compartmentalize, weeks at a time, as opposed to looking at the bigger mathematical number, because that is daunting. And before you even cracked open the Milwaukee's best, it was over.
Done.
And
Done.
They had 4 hits through 8 innings. The New York Mets
Against
did.
Sammy Long,
Right.
dude.
It's over.
You know what killed me? It wasn't even the home run. It wasn't even the home run by Brandon Belt that made it 1-0 early. Francisco Lindor stepped up to the plate in the bottom of the first inning. And the Met fans, they showed class I wouldn't have had. They gave Lindor a huge ovation.
He's back.
He's back. And Lindor hit one that off the bat, I thought, wow, Francisco Lindor's going to hit a home run in his first game back. And it sort of died on the warning track, and it nestled into the glove of the left fielder, whoever the hell was playing left field, Alex Dickerson. And that was the moment, Craig. That was the moment where I turned to my wife. She wasn't listening. And I said, we are dead.
Yeah.
So I did it again. DED, dead. And guess what? They are dead. But you could take that tweet from yesterday about 1973 and you could burn it, Craig, because they stink.
But it happened exactly the way it happened in 73. In 73, this exact same series was happening August 24th, yesterday, the whole bit.
Yeah.
And they lost the first game.
Well, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Giants.
So listen, the point is the Yankees did your bidding for you in that while you are going to run out of games, of course, I get that part of it.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul.
No,
it didn't get worse last night.
Yes, it did.
It's just you got the same old, same old.
Craig. I appreciate how you're trying to keep me afloat.
It's not 7.5, it's 6.5.
But they lost a game on the calendar. So while they didn't lose a game in the standings, they lost a day of opportunity.
For sure.
And so if I could speak to the Atlanta Braves right now and I say, look, 6.5, it's just going to remain 6.5 the rest of the way. They signed for that. It means they win the division.
Of course.
So last night was a missed moment for the Mets. They had a chance to gain ground on the Braves.
It wasn't a missed moment in that it's not like they blew a lead. It's not like they had bases loaded down a run and didn't get the winning run home.
They didn't show up.
Right. The game was over before it started, and that's with Lindor and Baez in the lineup. Meanwhile, while I know there's a lot of Met bitching, and there will be today, rightfully so, you guys have every right to cry today.
Oh, thanks, Craig.
Cry, bitch, moan, whatever it is that you want to do. Now you have Trevor May waxing up poetically today on Twitter about how long the season is, and people are getting pissed at him, and he's a fan favorite.
Well, they got to stop with that.
Right?
Trevor's got to stop with that. How long the season is.
Yeah.
It's August 25th. You guys are 6.5 games out. You've played like ass for over a month. When are we supposed to say, hey, time to turn it on?
I would think with 35, 30, whatever it is now, 36 games to go.
Jeez.
This is the moment if you have the ability to flip a switch. I would think you would have flipped it. But listen, this is a 4-hit team. That's what they are.
5-hit team.
Right? Well, 4 through 8. I turned it off after 8. I couldn't watch it. I was glued in on my New York Yankees. And a couple things from last night's Yankee game. Yankees used 19 pitchers last night to try to get the win. They get the win. End of the day, no one's going to look back and remember August 24th and what happened. That's the way it goes, right? But we remember because last night you saw again that while this team is unbelievable, 11 straight wins. Last night it was DJ LeMahieu with the big hit. Of course, Stanton did again too. My guy.
Make sure you acknowledge him.
My guy. And then at 5-3.
Yeah.
And you get into the ninth inning, and Green did his job. All the relievers, every one of them, did a phenomenal job. And I recognize with today off, it was the kitchen sink is available.
Yep.
Everyone's on.
Everyone
so I get it.
besides Loizaga was
Right.
out there to throw. Yes.
So there's my guy, Aroldis Chapman. All right, had a 1-2-3 save his last time out, but he's not Chapman yet. And I saw something. I honestly don't know my lifetime if I've ever seen at the level I saw it last night. The flop sweat that was coming off the brim of his hat. I've watched, as you have, a lot of baseball in my lifetime.
Right.
Not as much as you, okay, but a lot of baseball. I've coached baseball. I've started travel leagues. I created the Borough effing Cup, okay? I've never seen a guy go to the rosin bag and take the rosin bag and wipe it on his hat to stop the sweat from dripping down into his eyes.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I know, we all know some people sweat more than others.
Sure.
It's the way you're born. There's nothing you can do about it, right? But I've never seen a guy he's not running. He's not jumping up and down.
He's standing on a mound waiting 45 seconds
Right.
between pitches.
Now, is it strenuous? Mentally, for sure it is. Emotionally, for sure it is.
It was
but-
also hot yesterday.
Yeah, but you're right. It's not physically strenuous.
Right.
And he's a world-class athlete, so none of that's an issue here, right? And you're right. Like, there are times there was a minute and a half between a pitch.
I timed it.
Right.
No, I literally was timed because I thought it
Especially
was.
on a couple of those 3-2
Oh,
counts.
no doubt. I mean,
Right.
certainly the last few at-bats, the bases-loaded walk, the battle with Ozzie Albies, I was timing it out. So this isn't a guess. 45 seconds
Crazy
in between
time.
pitches,
Right.
which is insane.
So and it's so distracting because we know he sweats. Like, we've seen him long enough.
He's always been a sweater.
He gets
yeah.
lathered up. We
Yeah.
know he's a lather guy,
No
right?
doubt, no doubt.
But last night was special. Last night was something like he has a glandular problem. Last night, I thought he had jumped in a pool, ducked his head in a bottle, like a thing of Gatorade or something. He took I'm sure you saw it.
Of course.
He took the rosin bag and almost like, is that allowed? Is that legal to do? I wasn't sure if that was a legal move. And he put it on his hat to stop the flop sweat. And then he just, Aaron Boone gave him every opportunity to get out of it with 2 outs. And he's all over the place, especially with the fastball, no command whatsoever. Threw a couple really good sliders to his
He
credit.
doesn't have confidence in his
None.
fastball.
So you bring in Peralta. And all I could think about was when they made the trade.
I knew you were going to bring this up. And you were a part of it, ripping Cashman for how could you trade Mike Tauchman, who was DFA'd, by the way, for Wandy Peralta.
And Wandy Peralta, who's become one of the most likable guys, on that team from a cheerleading standpoint.
He's also one of their most important right now.
And he's been fantastic.
Yeah.
And he comes in, bases loaded, 2 outs.
Against the
5-4
MVP.
Yeah. And Freddie Freeman, a phenomenal at bat both ways, to be fair to Freddie Freeman and to Peralta. And all of a sudden, there's a high fly line drive type ball, as if you didn't see it, out to left. Evan, if you watch it again, and I've watched it 10 or 15 times, and I was watching it live with Lucky last night.
Right.
I could swear that Gallo almost trips and
Yeah,
falls.
it looked like Gallo,
Right? Am I right?
Gallo's really good defensively. He had trouble tracking that down.
Like,
it did look like he was struggling out there.
His feet almost got crossed, and I go, he's going to fall.
Yeah.
And then the game's over, obviously.
Did you really think, though, and I give Boone a lot of credit, that he has pulled Chapman, and he's done this twice now since coming back from the IL. He basically says, look, I'm pulling your ass even before you blow this game. Bases loaded, 2 outs, as good as Wandy Peralta is, when he comes into this game to face Freddie Freeman.
Yep.
Okay? Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
The reigning MVP. A man who has killed the Mets over the years. The Yankees don't see him as much. Did you think Wandy Peralta was going to get him out? I know the Yankee fan is confident, 10 in a row until last night, now 11.
I knew the ball was going to be in play. There was no doubt the ball was going to get hit.
So your view was ball. Okay, now walk me through this. Wandy Peralta, maybe you forgot because it was a 9-pitch at-bat, falls behind 3-1.
Yep, goes 5 straight change-ups.
Okay.
Right?
Did you
Won't give in on it?
At
right?
that moment.
4 foul balls in a row, yeah.
Okay, he's fouling balls off. It's 3-2. Did you still think he was going to get him out?
I knew the ball was going to be in play. I didn't think he was going to strike him out. I can't say if I thought he'd get a hit, but in my head, I'm like, he's not striking him out.
I don't know if it's my Roberts-itis, but I always want to be perfectly honest. I was so confident Freddie Freeman was going to beat your ass. I really was.
I'm sure you were.
And I wasn't rooting for him. I want to make that clear.
He's only faced him 5 times.
3 for 5.
He's got 3 for 5 with a couple doubles and a home run.
Plus, it's Freddie Freeman. It's bases loaded. It's Wandy Peralta, as great as he's been.
I'll say this.
I was stunned that he got at him.
I will say this. I did, in my mind, I did not say it out loud, so I'm not going to say, oh, I knew whatever. But in my head, I was already recreating this. Well, that was a gut punch. I had already envisioned the Aaron Boone quote after the game. That's a gut punch. We're gonna have to come back from it. Blah blah blah. Which really would have been
a weird gut punch.
Terrible way to have an amazing win streak come to an end.
Yeah,
like they would have left Atlanta feeling as they have in other series where they didn't sweep a team, where they felt like. Yeah, like against Houston, right?
Yeah,
they
won
won
the series against Houston, yeah.
But you left the series going, ugh.
I totally agree that was those feelings. I think last night would have been different. I do.
Because they're 10 in a row?
Yeah, because eventually, as much as you may not agree with this, they're going to lose a baseball game.
Are they?
Yeah, it's going to happen at some point. I think so,
Are
Craig.
they?
Yes, I think so.
Are they?
Yes.
11 straight for the Pinstripers. Day off.
You have a problem,
Oakland
though.
tomorrow. Oakland slumping right now.
Yeah, but Craig.
Feeling pretty good about number 12.
There's something you're not aware of.
Yeah, all right.
So last night, after the Mets got embarrassed in the thrilling Yankee game, Evan couldn't sleep. So Evan went on his mission to find the smoking gun. And I started listening to a lot of old clips of Carton and Roberts. And I have found the smoking gun.
Don't know what you're talking about.
I found the audio clip of Craig Carton declaring that the New York Yankees will not make the playoffs and they're dead.
Who are you?
I found it.
Stuttering John?
I found it.
Is that right?
I worked all night, late into the evening. And finally, it was like eureka. At 12:45 a.m., I found an angry, a despondent, and an ultra-negative Craig Carton. And it's funny. It's very funny. You used a phrase earlier when talking about the Mets.
Yeah.
The exact phrase was used in this smoking gun against the New York Yankees.
Don't play it yet. If you have it, we could build towards that. And perhaps
I have it, baby.
Perhaps there's a trade you want to make.
A trade I want to make?
Perhaps I have something that you would like not to be aired.
I am a full disclosure.
Are
Evan.
you open for a trade conversation at least?
Well, I'd love to hear what you have.
Would you like to contemplate the possibility that whatever audio you claim to have disappears like the Francesa 9/11 tapes? In return, I might have something to offer you that also could disappear and never see the light of day. Would you at least like to know what I'm offering?
What do you have?
Yes?
What are you offering?
I have something in my possession, Evan, and I'm willing to offer it to you. As you know, your family adores me. So your family, when you're doing something that might be good fodder for the show, and there's a question on their end, well, will Evan tell Craig or not? We think it'd be great for Craig to know.
Just to have that information?
Just to have information. Sometimes that information comes in the form of a text.
Sure.
It is never a phone call. I'll be fair about that. We've never spoken about it.
Right.
But they do have my number for emergency purposes only.
Of course, sure.
If you're unreachable and God forbid something's going on, fire in the house, call Craig. He's with Evan, that kind of thing, right?
Right.
So I do have something. And I've not made it public yet because as your partner and trusted friend, I don't think it was my position to make it public yet. But I have it.
And you think that's the equivalent of me just going through the archives of our own show?
You don't know what it is yet.
Well, whatever it is, it's personal.
It's personal, yes.
I assume that. Am I correct that it's personal?
It's personal, yes.
Do you think it's on the same level of me simply finding the smoking gun?
Evan, what did you do this morning in your backyard?
Well, you know what I did this morning in my backyard.
I
played baseball with my son.
You played baseball with your son?
Yeah, of course.
Is there a chance that you had the slip and slide set up trying to recreate the Trey Turner slide against the Mets? Any shot that's possible?
I may have done that, yeah.
How many takes did you take on that filming?
Well, I've got a good slide that I took, so I did one really good slide.
I've got a slide that's not so good.
How the hell did you get that?
I've got video from your family of you sliding, and I don't think you want people to see it. I'm not sure that you want this video out there on Twitter at 3:00 this afternoon.
So what are you doing? You're holding this over my
I'm
head?
saying I'm willing to make you a trade. I don't even know what audio you found. I'm assuming you found something.
I found something.
I think you're a man of your word.
I am a man of my word.
So I'm willing to make you a trade sight unseen. I've not heard the audio. I don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. You've not seen the video, but you did it so you know what it is.
I know I was on my slip and slide this morning.
Do you want to trade now, yes or no? Or what are you contemplating?
Well,
what do you think about it?
I did a slide where I popped up like Trey Turner.
No, that's not this one. There is a slide, however, when you're on your ass, legs and hands in the air like a turtle on his back.
There was only one slip and slide, and I came up rather cleanly.
No, there's more than one.
There's no other slide. Okay. That's the slide I did. I popped up like Trey Turner. I'm not going to say it was as good. I watched it a couple of times. It wasn't near. How the hell did you get that?
Well, here, I think, let's listen to that again.
How the hell did you get that? Ugh.
Let's do that one again, is what you said. Let's do that one again.
Son of a bitch.
So I have it. So at 3:00, you and I will make a joint announcement. You release the audio, I release the video. And we're, as men, we're upfront with each other. Mm-hmm. We're not doing anything behind each other's backs, right? You release the audio, I release the video.
That's a bad video.
So at 3:00, we'll make a decision together as a team. Either they both get released or neither gets released. And it's your call. I'm fine either way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good either way. 877-337.
I've been forced to make a lot of decisions lately.
Yeah.
Big decisions. The decision I made last night has not worked out well so far.
I think
which is the Mets are alive and well.
Well, I think the season for the Mets really starts tonight because you had the Yankees do you solid last night. Jeez. So you didn't lose ground. I recognize it's one less game on the docket to get back from. Listen, the goal isn't to make all 6.5 back. You got to get within 3. And I think if you compartmentalize where the Mets are, as we discussed yesterday, don't look at the 37 games. Look at, as you said, let's look at 10 games.
Yeah,
let's look at a week.
I'm with you on that, but
get to 3. Right now, the magic number is getting to 3, not 6.
That's all fine and fair and rational, but did you watch them last night?
I did. They're listless, they're non-competitive, and they're pathetic offensively.
Yes.
And not only that, defensively, Alonso, of course, with that unbelievably bad throw to third. They're not playing great defensively either, last night at least.
Yeah, how about the fact that Tyler McGill has issues covering first base? And how about, do we have the manager on today?
Yes.
Because I got a major freaking bone to pick with this manager, who I've mostly said, it's not his fault. Can you play hit and run when Javi Baez is on first base? The guy actually can run. The guy actually can steal a base. I don't know if I need to show Luis Rojas the back of Javi Baez's baseball card. We're not talking about some slow-footed guy who can't run. When there's a 3-2 count and Baez is on first base, I don't care who the hitter is. How about you send him so you stay out of a double play? That pissed me off last night, too.
We'll get into all of it. We'll get your calls, too. It ain't good unless you're a Yankee fan. And then everything's grand as we come to the close of the summer of 21. Hottest team in baseball. Their longest winning streak since 1840. 23-5 in the last 28, which they haven't done since Columbus was around. And it's just great being a Yankee fan. Not so great being a Jet fan, though. More on that coming up later today. 877-337-6666. He's Evan Roberts. I'm Craig Carton. We go all the way to 7 tonight.